Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and today we're looking at what is slowly becoming one of my favourite styles of beer, and it's one that I like to enjoy on the weekend because it's 9 times out of 10 a really nice sessionable low ABV. It's usually on tap in some of the places that I go to in the little town of Skelmersdale, and there's just something satisfying about it at the end of the week. So we're having a look at a mild, but not just any mild. We're looking at Banks's mild, and this is in a can, in a big 500 ml can. Not too sure what size the cans used to be, maybe 440, something like that. I'm not too sure. Smooth and full-bodied with a malty, warming and slightly fruity taste. And Banks's Mild is a light chestnut-coloured beer with a glorious balance of malty, biscuity flavours with a subtle hint of bitterness. A subtle but perceptible burnt note, full-bodied, Banks's delivers a flavourful packed, quaffable ale. 3.5% in a 500ml can. Of course, Banks is owned by Marston's, and this is brewed in Wolverhampton. And yeah, I picked this up in my local bargain booze. Picked up a 4-pack because it's Saturday, and I started a new job this week. And I thought, you know what? On my day off, I'm gonna have my weekend off. I'm gonna have a few beers, and that's what I did. So I think I paid about £4.40 for a 4-pack of this, or £4.90, something like that. It was definitely under a fiver, but not that much more than £4.50. Around that ballpark, basically. And yeah, this is ice cold pretty much because it was in the fridges at Bargain Booze, and it's been in the fridge in um, Clueless Drinker HQ. I've already had a can of it, and I probably should have waited or at least left one can out to do a review. But do you know what? I thought, F it, let's see what it's like. So Banks is mild. This is one that I do find on tap fairly regularly. As regularly as you can find milds nowadays, because it seems to be a lost art form, in my humble opinion. And I'd love to see more breweries get on this style. You know, get those craft breweries getting involved in this. You know, I think it'd be an interesting experiment, especially for like one of those more like regional craft breweries. Even though pretty much every brewery is technically regional, but you know what I mean. You know, like someone in Manchester, you know, for instance, like Marble or Alphabet do a mild. I'd love to see Cloudwater do a sort of take on a mild. You know, not like double dry hopping it or anything, or putting stuff in that shouldn't really be in a mild. Just, you know, brew a mild. You know, it's, from what I can gather, a fairly inexpensive beer to make. You're not going to lose too much money if it doesn't really sell too well. And yeah, there's definitely a market for it, and I think there should be a renaissance of the mild because it's an absolutely wonderful style of beer, in my opinion. But we're still in that sort of like hazy New England style IPA bandwagon, and I think the next sort of hyped trend could potentially be sour stouts, because I've seen a few breweries doing sour stouts. That could be interesting. But yeah, back on topic, I'd love to see more breweries doing milds, and I'd like to see milds a bit more available. I'm so much more conscientious of them when I see them that 9 times out of 10, even if I'm like wanting to get like my hop fix at the supermarket, and I see that they've got a mild that I've not had before, I'm gonna get that 4-pack of mild 9 times out of 10, just because I really enjoy the style. So let's pour it into the glass and see what we get. That was a very fluid movement, wasn't it? I sort of like subconsciously did that. It just came out so nice and smooth. That could have ended really badly by spilling all over the couch. So using my Nognu glass, because I like this style of glass, and beer in the glass then, you're seeing that really, really dark, but to me, that's sort of like a really nice coppery colour. There's very subtle ruby hues in there, but at the bottom, or towards the bottom of the glass, I should say, lovely sort of a marmalade look to it. Crystal clear. Nice carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. But yeah, it's got that sort of like lovely rustic look to it. And the beer poured with, well, not even a finger's or half a finger's worth of a sort of like beige looking head. So it looks good so far, I'd say. Let's see what we get on the nose. If I could swirl it properly. Just look at that. I'm looking back at that. Look how awful that looks. I'm just swirling it from side to side. Getting a big hit of toffee in there. Sort of like treacle, that sort of thing. A little bit of caramel. It is really nice and sweet. It's got like ever so slight ruby ale sort of character. It's like, you know, like Hobgoblin. Where it's like that like caramelized berry almost. Or like caramel, or like a, yeah, like a toffee apple. But instead of an apple, it's a cherry or something like that. It's got that sort of like fruits of the forest aroma with a cakey, desserty sweetness in there. Very subtle, sweety, smoky sort of character, but again, very, very subtle. Yeah, it smells really nice and pleasant, so let's give it a taste. Cheers. The body is deceptively bolder than what you would think, because that does look really quite thin, even when it's a bit darker and a bit more opaque on camera. Because you look at it and you think, God, that's like, it's almost like flat Coke in a glass, almost. But when you drink it, it's not like creamy or milky like some of the other milds that I've had of late. Especially not compared to the ones that you have like from tap on a cask or something like that. Because, you know, they're just going to be naturally a bit more creamy. But yeah, this, I don't know why I smelt it then, that was weird. There is like a slight cola aspect to it, very subtle. A little bit thinner than some of the other milds that I've had, but it's a surprisingly not thin beer, all things considered. So quaffable, definitely drinkable. It looks, well, it tastes a lot more refreshing than it looks, because you see it like a darker beer, and you don't necessarily get that refreshment factor. It's usually like the more paler beers that you like sort of get that refreshment from, if that makes sense. But this is just, it's a safe, honest bet. It's like, it's innocent. It's virtuous and it's simple. It's like the lovable village idiot almost. Until he like fiddles with one of the town elder's children and then gets murdered in a very brutal way. And then it turns out that it was all like a stage so that the little village could fulfill a pagan prophecy in like a ritual. I'm probably going into territories that I shouldn't do with the beer review, but yeah, it's just simple, it's enjoyable, it's honest. It's far from the best example of the style that I've had personally, and when I've had it in like a pub setting or like a social club setting, I find the body's just a little bit more smoother and bolder. But this is, like I said, by far flat, by far thin, really nice and enjoyable. That 4-pack is now a 2-pack after this. And it's going to go down very, very well. And yeah, I think that's really nice. Probably price-wise, knock a quid? Knock a quid off. You're laughing. To be something like Thwaites' Dark Mild. A little bit more enjoyable. But yeah, this is a good one. So, in terms of rating then, on Banks's Mild, I'm going to give that a good honest 7 out of 10. Would happily pick this up again, even at the price that I paid, which, let's be honest, isn't that much. Because it is a quality product. It's one of the Marston's brands now that is still good. I mean, of course, I can't say it, but I'd imagine the consensus is before the Marston's like acquisition or whatever that happened, people will probably say, yeah, it was a bit better then. But yeah, for a mass-produced beer, And for a mass-produced mild, I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm not going to murder it in a brutal way, but it will be sacrificed in my belly because it's enjoyable. Been watching way too many Hammer horror films. Or maybe not enough, because I could have gone into really nice detail. But yeah, Banks is mild. 7 out of 10. Would highly recommend it. Give it a go if you haven't done so already. If you have tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions. I sort of like this casual sort of angle. Nice and laid back, even though I'm sat the wrong way on the couch and you're sat on an ironing board, because since YouTube has demonetised my channel, I've had to sell all my high quality equipment. I've had to hire fire, I should say, my editor and my production team. So I've got to do what I can with the tools that I have. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, opinions, let me know down below in the comments. What's your thoughts on the mild style? Did I mildly arouse you in this pose? Probably and hopefully not. And yeah, I think I've got a few beers. I'm not pointing at my penis, don't worry. I think I've got a few milds on the channel now. So if so, there will be a mild playlist. Check out Marston's. And yeah, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, then their reviews are going to be included down below in the comments, the description, I should say. Yeah, I think it's quite clear that I've not actually recorded a beer review for like 2 weeks now, so I think it's showing on camera. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Cheers.